Hey y'all, oh my god, there's just so much going on. Thanks so much for watching, liking, subscribing. I greatly appreciate all of you. Thank you for understanding my situation. If you are new here, I was reading on politics on my channel during the first Trump term, and as a result of that, I became trafficked by his people, and I was put into an MK Ultra program, which I have gone into full detail about on my playlist about MK Ultra Trafficking. And part of that program is that you get thrown into Delta Force, and as a result of that, you also become a part of their Secret Space Program. And I guess by year 3, I started to earn what they would call general stars. Now, definitely go check out at Black Sunrise because she did an excellent job of explaining the secret space programs. She also mentioned an undersea program. Now, I was not part of the undersea program, and she goes into great detail about the trafficking programs. So definitely check her out because she goes into like PowerPoints and things like that about it. I had already come on here and talked a lot about my own experience, but just to really understand the secret space program is a huge component to all of this. And as you raise in rank, you essentially become privy to information that other people in military don't get access to, except I am not recognized in the same way that they are because of how I came up the ranks, okay? And as a result of me moving up these ranks during one of the toughest times of our country, while we were, I believe from my own experience, under full-blown attack and warfare under our own military generals, which I have talked about, I moved up the ranks very quickly during these time frames because I was literally on the front lines trying to save my country. Now, they do not want this information to get out, but I have talked very candidly about what I had witnessed within the military portals, and that I saw our own generals basically working against our country and working for North Korea and Vladimir Putin. So there is some information that they want to get out. One, obviously, we're witnessing a complete shit show in the Oval Office with Donald Trump. I believe he infiltrated our country day 1, 2016 election. Many of you guys might remember, but he fired Jim Comey, who prompted an investigation into this election. And then shortly thereafter, there was a special counsel that was assigned, Robert Mueller, to this investigation. Now, in coordination with the special counsel investigation, I have gotten a lot of messages in regards to a secret binder. I did just talk about the secret binder on a video I uploaded yesterday, and the secret binder is the Russian intelligence to the 2016 election. So it's a really key component. It basically summarizes what they did, and I believe it's probably the missing key to what actually happened. Now, Donald Trump appointed Attorney General Bill Barr, okay, to come in during that term, during his fake first term presidency. And he essentially, what I have gotten messages about, was the closer on the Mueller report and the Mueller investigation. And there was more indictments that were on the docket for Don Jr., Jared Kushner, Ivanka, and I believe Donald Trump. But what happened is that he came in to close and shut that down. Okay, just a little bit of background. AG Bill Barr is former CIA, and I believe he was CIA during the time of 9/11. Okay, and just to summarize, Robert Mueller is former FBI. Okay, both are out of Manhattan, so I think it's just kind of interesting timing. But this video is, again, for entertainment purposes only. And when I provide this information, I'm not trying to hurt anyone. I'm not trying to destroy any investigations. I am trying to get messages out that I feel are pertinent and important right now for our country and the world. So right now, I am getting messages around Donald Trump's inauguration, okay? And I believe that he is not the president. And I believe he never was the president. What I believe happened is that our country was essentially overthrown during the 2016 election. I did witness a scuffle through the metaverse that happened on election night around 8 p.m. that had something directly tied to Hillary Clinton's results. There was a shooting in which appeared to be near the Oval Office. And I remember around that specific time frame actually getting very sick and nauseous to my stomach, okay? Now, I don't believe I had any connection to the White House at that point in time, but just intuitively, I felt like something seriously went wrong on election night. And so from what I have witnessed, there was a phone call and somebody got shot, okay, that night. And it has something to do, I believe, with our Secret Service. And I have, like, right here, I have, this is our country. I feel like this is like the Star Spangled Banner, you know, like when the star card comes up. But something seriously went wrong that night. I don't know how many people have that information, but again, because of my ranking, I witnessed that encounter through the metaverse right before this election, the 2024 election. Again, I saw something very serious go wrong, I believe, in the barracks with Bill Barr. And I saw him shoot what I feel is one of our top level intelligence officers in the barracks when he went to question him about, I feel like it was around Project Bluebeam, okay? So when he went down there, I feel like I witnessed, again, another shooting. And I have witnessed a lot of these interactions over the last year and a half, specifically when I'm trying to get out of here, when someone is trying to free me from their system, from this metaverse, I will hear somebody get shot. It is very eerie and very reminiscent of Nazi Germany from what I have experienced, okay, within this metaverse. When I talk about the metaverse, it is through a neuro headset, it's through military patents, okay? And it's invisible to the eye, but you will set off things. I did set off an airport security detector, something detective, and it highlighted where the chip was, okay? And they actually checked my head. I have the tower around that. So it does show up. I also do have MRI scans that my doctor withheld from me when he went over them in person. I found them later on. He didn't know, but I actually got a copy of those scans. And when I finally got the software uploaded, I found all of the chips and implants. And my head looks like a freaking Christmas tree, guys. It looks like there are lights on my head. And the reason I know that these are implants is because they're too perfect in size. They all are circular and they match each other. And that is not part of our organic chemistry or biology. They're also extremely white, okay? And they show up glaringly obvious. I also saw a Neuralink, but I have a whole other system on my freaking head. I don't even, if I were to count them, it could even be like around like 16 implants on my head, okay? And I've talked to you all and told you at upwards, I have about 82 systems on my head globally, okay? And the fact that I am still here in this situation is completely astounding to me. But I also know how Donald Trump's cover-up teams work. I know how his military works. And even this morning, I was getting messages that there are people who are in the Pentagon, working in the Pentagon, that are not qualified to be working within the Pentagon, but they don't want that information to go out. They're already covering it up with black magic and witchcraft, okay? A big component to the cover-up is a secret society named Bohemian Grove. They are the presidential secret society, okay? And whatever happened to them, I don't know if I was dealing with somebody who was head of Bohemian Grove, and they are the ones that got injured, getting chills on that, 6 of Cups. So they're very high ranking if they are head of that secret society and they knew who I was. And if they were the ones that were shot and killed, I'm getting a kill around that, okay? I'm getting a funeral card with a military reverse, then something is like seriously wrong, because I think they're in some way the protection for the presidents on US soil. I'm just gonna back up real quick to 2023. We were essentially right in the middle of the Ukraine war with Russia, and a lot of stuff was happening. I felt like I was directly connected to Vladimir Putin and President Joe Biden at this time, and I felt like there was something seriously wrong. I felt like there was a cutoff in our intel in some way, and that it wasn't going to where it was supposed to go. Around this time, I also saw Vladimir Putin in our CIA, commanding our CIA, and there was just a series of happenings within the metaverse where we were under attack, and I felt like our country was really in like dire condition, okay? So during this time of mayhem, I felt like I was following the news. I would follow what Joe Biden was saying to see if it coordinated in any way with the messages that I was giving, okay, through the metaverse in terms of us aiding Ukraine, in terms of what was going on through my own metaverse experience, and everything was syncing up. It was syncing up in terms of what they would be saying to me through the headset, and then what was going out into the media, what Joe Biden was saying at the podium, what Vladimir Putin was saying at the podium, what Kimmy was saying at the podium. Okay, everything was syncing up. So I was like, I believe that whatever I'm experiencing in real time is actually connected to these people, okay? I feel like I had one-on-one interactions with Joe Biden, and I also feel that in some way, because of how I was moved up the ranks and because of the condition and state of our country, I was also kind of like this huge secret in some way. I also was connected, I believe, to parts of the Mueller investigation and parts of the Brian Laundrie story. And I also, I believe, was connected to Eric Prince and what he was doing. I was connected to a lot of different networks by this time. So I think because of my channel, I became kind of a spotlight for a lot of these people that were tied to Donald Trump. And as a result of that, I feel like it overcomplicated things for me because I was like almost like too connected to too many things at this point in time. And I feel like it came together in almost like this huge storm where my attack in 2021 came together in this huge freaking storm. It's like right around the end of 2023, it was like everything was coming full circle again, like in this huge, perfect storm. And it was like, I was trying to figure out what was going on with our country. But on top of that, I'm also a lab rat for, you know, person A over here. I have Mark Zuckerberg working on me over here. I have Bill Gates. I got wrapped into so many different things that I could not like get out of by this point in time. And everybody had their own agenda and plan for what I was going to be at this point because I was like overly involved, if that makes any sense. And because I have the press coming in here. I mean, I had the press coming in, okay? I was like, I felt like I was dealing with reporters coming through this thing. There was just, I'm getting chills on all that. I had crime families that were involved with me by this point. By this time, I was getting to know crime families. I felt like I was eating dinner with crime families by this point because they didn't know what the hell was going on with me. I had mafia around me. I had everybody around me by this point. And so, and the generals then now started investigating me because they saw me fighting on the front lines against them. And they were like, who is this girl? So they had to do their own investigations into me, which were horrid, and all about them basically covering up what I saw because they didn't want anyone else to see who I was. Because that would mean that I was outing every single one of their coalition operations against our own country, okay? So I just want to like let you know, I feel like because of that, I put Joe Biden in a very awkward position. And not only that, I feel like he was a victim of the same weapon system, okay? I have dream programming coming in around that because his health was rapidly declining. Not only that, but many people who I feel were in his corner or my corner were slowly flipping because they felt like they were themselves in danger, okay? So he starts to lose his own camaraderie or people that are around him because they're all slowly getting lost, okay, in the system. Blacklists are coming up. So they start going on blacklists, okay? And it just feels like everything is starting to crumble. I have Deloitte coming in with that message. Okay, I was told that I was a bank asset of Deloitte. I was a Russian bank asset, and they put me into their own bank prison, okay? The controller, okay, put me in their freaking prison during this time. I know this sounds so insane, trust me, but if you can look at the state of our country right now and what has transpired, maybe you could start to understand like really what was going on behind the scenes. I have a Penske deal coming through around this messaging, okay? And I was told that I was directly a part of a Penske deal, okay? When I look up Penske, it is a multi-billion-dollar auto group. So I believe that probably connects back to Eric Prince and his contract. I saw this deal directly connected to a ship. Okay, so I don't know if it was the Merchant Marines. I remember reading on it and getting the Merchant Marines coming in, but I also felt Navy influence. And Eric Prince is a former Navy SEAL. Okay, so this is the deal that I feel like I was tied into. So I want to just say I'm moving up the ranks. Okay, by this point I'm becoming a 4 or 5 star general. Okay, maybe even going into 7-star at this point in time. They're telling me I have to move into the White House with Vladimir Putin, okay? They're also saying our country is now owned by Vladimir Putin. By Christmas of 2023, they told me I had to move to Russia and have a baby with Vladimir Putin, okay? This is the state of the country at this point in time. And now they're flagging Christopher Wray in Manhattan, the FBI, in terms of what the hell is going on, okay? So there is a lot of stuff that's going on. I have Marsha Blackburn coming in around that messaging. Tennessee, okay? I believe that she is part of the Manhattan network that is directly connected to Lou Taylor, okay? Because they're in the same freaking town. They're in the same freaking town. And Lou Taylor was working on an interrupter technology that would change the game of Hollywood. And I can't help but think that Lou had some kind of Air Force in her pocket, okay? And perhaps they're linked to freaking Marsha over here. Miss GOP over here. And I have Marjorie Taylor Greene coming in. So anyways, I had a lot of people that I was dealing with at this time, and I feel like I'm getting off topic because obviously we know they're all part of it. Let's just back up a little bit to the end of 2023. I had a series of very odd encounters with what felt like terrorist groups, Israel, okay? And they were looking for some keys. That was like a big thing. I feel like it was around November or October timeframe that somebody came into my energy field and they said, here are the keys. Take good care of them. And good luck. And I believe somebody else said, you're the president of the United States of America. And that was it. I was like, what happened to Joe Biden? What is going on? So when I was trying to check in with Joe Biden, I got 10 of Swords. So I didn't know if he was already under attack or compromised in some way, okay? And I might have been his like right-hand girl at that time, 6 of Wands, okay? So they're passing along the keys to our country to me, okay, in a very awkward way, okay, which I'm not going to explain in this freaking video. But within a day, this terrorist group came in that was connected to some kind of a ship. They came in, they went after me, they started screaming at me and yelling at me, and within 24 hours, I believe it was 2 Navy ships, went under attack in the Red Sea, okay? And I believe that attack was connected to United Emirates. Now, I have gone back over and over again with that attack because I know they had 24-hour notice, and I know I was in contact with some kind of a Navy admiral during that time. And so I keep getting messages that was an inside job, okay? And that Trump coordinated that attack to get access to these ships in some way. And that he was obviously on the side of United Emirates, Dubai, okay? They're part of his business contracts. They're also part of their space agendas, okay? And so I was getting that it was a full inside job at that time. The generals that I was around at that time was Lieutenant General Thomas Ferguson, okay? Florida. And General Mike Flynn. So I believe they were fully in on all of it, connected back to Eric Prince. Because that's their man. That is their freaking man. So right now, things are really confusing. I have 8 of Wands. There's a lot of information coming through. I didn't know if I still had the keys to the country at this point because I feel like they grabbed the keys in some way from me. I didn't understand if I was the president of the country. But what ensued was a lot of very strange events, okay? After that, I became in contact with, I feel, global leaders. I became in contact with everyone from the darkest dark to the lightest light. And everybody was trying to figure out who the heck I was, where I came from, and what happened, okay? And so let me see if there's messages around any of that right now. Because as of today, as of freaking today, they're still trying to figure this out. So I have Havana syndrome coming in around this messaging. So shortly I want to say it was maybe around April of 2024 is when I had reported to Homeland Security this weapon system. I reported Mark Zuckerberg, and then within 3 days, they told me I needed to leave the country, okay? Within the time frame of me essentially leaving in my car, okay? Pretty much forced out of my situation because I actually didn't have a choice at this point because I was being threatened that they would call the cops if I stayed near them, etc. Everything was falling apart in my life. That's when the 60 Minutes story broke about Havana syndrome and somebody coming forward that it was tied to Russia, okay? So that cover-up started to come forward at that point in time, okay? So I was essentially, I feel like, around a lot of people. I was around Mark Zuckerberg a lot. I feel like he was actively attacking me daily, working against me, programming me. I saw and became witness to baby rituals, okay? I saw a lot of baby rituals going on. I think I was put on blacklist along with many other people who might have been in my corner at that time. And that's when they started to talk about Donald Trump's blacklists, his execution lists. I have Air Force coming in around that, and Dick Cheney. So literally the underbelly of our country is coming to light. I have the Zionists coming in around that as well, which is directly tied to Jared Kushner, Manhattan, and I believe Black Cube. And then we have Jerusalem coming through with that messaging. So I was around Israel, okay, during these attacks, okay, and Blackwater comes in with that. And I was also around Eric Prince very heavily around these attacks. I feel that right now, everything we have been witnessing has just been part of a staged performance and warfare against our country that we have been dealing with since 2016. To me, it just almost feels like a continuum of a fake presidency into a fake presidency, because even during Joe Biden's term, I felt like we were fully under attack at that point. So it's like I don't even feel like we ever really truly got back our country in any way. And now we have to freaking almost go back to the beginning to try and figure out what happened, essentially. So I wish I had some sage right now to clear these energies because they're just so intense. Everything that I was witnessing within the metaverse was that our country was fully under attack. And anytime we got a break in any way, I feel like it was thwarted, okay? So I think that can kind of explain where we're at right now, especially if they're telling me that I was the president of the United States. Now, this message essentially repeated again a year later, okay? It was probably around the summer of 2024. Someone cut in, it felt like I was talking to Joe Biden, or he was there on the line. Somebody else was there, and they said, she is the president of the United States. They said, you are the president, and then it cut out and went, and then after that, I went under an energy weapon attack, okay? So it was the same exact thing. And the messages kept repeating that I was the president of the United States. Now, I can't specifically understand that messaging as to why I would be the president. I have the hermit coming in around those messages. The only thing I can think of is that Donald Trump was never a legit president, okay? This is like an emergency situation coming through because he never actually won the election. And I don't know if there is a deferment back. I don't know if Hillary actually, because she won and was the 45th president, that she in some way deferred back to whoever the highest ranking general was at that time. I don't know what the protocol is for the president of the United States, but I can tell you that this message has been very consistent and has repeated over and over again. And I have some kind of crazy teams and interactions that I'm dealing with daily that feel very presidential, okay? So I do have a Queen of Pentacles coming in around that messaging right now. There could be people that are trying to figure this out in terms of what really happened. And maybe because the evidence didn't come forward that Hillary actually won the 2016 election, people are very confused. But I kept seeing over and over the numbers 45, 45, 45. And when they introduced me to the FBI, they said she was a 4-in-1, okay, to the FBI. That's when we were dealing with Christopher Wray. But I think that it actually meant 45. I think it was 4+1 when they said she's a 4-in-1. So I feel like it's something like that. But again, I don't understand how our intel works, and I don't understand how we move forward with everything. But I know that there has been a lot of confusion. There are chaos agents. Okay, we witnessed the assassination attacks on Donald Trump. We witnessed him bringing total chaos into Congress right before the election, all by design. We have witnessed all of these crazy news headlines with him and Elon. Every day there is chaos agents. Every day there is something going out to take our attention away from what's really happening. And there's also a lot of hidden information in terms of what he did to our security clearance departments. I believe that Donald Trump infiltrated those departments. I believe that when Jared Kushner was not qualified for his security clearance, I feel like they went in, okay, and they were trying to figure that out. I believe Steve Mnuchin was brought into our Treasury Department to turn it into a hedge fund, okay, just like he did at Goldman Sachs. I believe that they were brought in to do specifically what their roles would have been in their own private businesses, in their own corporations, to our country's structures, okay, departments and organizations. I feel like there's a lot of people right now in my energy field that want to get out completely different messages than me right now, okay? But they don't have the means perhaps to even get those messages out. They might want to tell a different story. Okay, good, they're United Emirates. They're not even American. And I have to constantly ask what country people are from in this freaking thing. I have to figure out who they are. I have to figure out where they're located. I have to figure out where they work. This morning I was getting a lot of people from the Pentagon that are Russian, okay? I was getting a lot of people who are in these units and organizations and places that they're not supposed to be. All right, now the Lucy project is coming up in connection to NASA, and that has come up before, okay? That I was directly connected to this NASA project, okay? And this is, I think, part of the Secret Space Program that I was put into. I did also have a client come through and tell me, I believe you're in the Secret Space Program, Amy. So at some point, you do figure it out, okay? So right now, I have hedge funds coming in around this, and I was also getting this directly linked to cryptocurrency and the people who have just been suddenly just kind of dropping dead out of nowhere. It's connected to biomolecular warfare. I think that ties in Pfizer agenda, okay, Bill Gates's agenda, and all of these dark agendas together globally. So let's just see where we are at, like right now, like right now. Where are we at right now? Where are we at right now? So we are coming into some kind of grounding and stability energy right now, which is much better than where we were last night. I feel like we were on the way to freaking a Nazi overthrowing of our country last night. And by morning, things I think are starting to ground again. We have to get the information out, okay? Because people were not able to get the information out in the way that they wanted to at that time. We have the 9 of Pentacles. I am getting something connected to my security system where Joe Biden might have had a different security team in terms of what he was involved with. And so I might have had something else going on with me that was keeping me somewhat separate from these people. And I have the Hierophant coming in. So that feels positive to me and actually stable in some way. So perhaps it is something like they in some way had to move me out of a situation in order to get it under control first, but that I would be the one that could provide the information, possibly. All right, let me see if there's any other messages around what we're viewing in the White House right now. It's this card right here. What is this card? Oh my God. I have Brian Laundrie coming up. See, it snuck back in. That's Florida, but that is connected to the POWs, okay? So that's the POW ships I saw with Brian Laundrie in the dream state. I saw them on cruise ships. And that's Florida. It's connected to the Florida DA, okay? District Attorney, I believe. And that's also connected, I think, back into the trafficking. Okay, so I'm asking about the White House, and it's going into that trafficking right now. And then I have Jerusalem. So there's heavy involvement by PM Netanyahu. Okay, there's heavy involvement. I believe they infiltrated me very heavily. I have Malibu coming in around those messages right now. And missing monies, okay? So it just seems like there's just a lot of stuff that is happening. I have Starlink connected to all of that. What a shocker, Elon Musk. Let me clear these cards and this deck out. I have the circus coming up, which is what Donald Trump filmed, his reality show, being on the presidential trail with Marco Rubio and Ted Cruz, which are all coming right back into the spotlight again. I don't think that's a coincidence. And Sergei Lavrov was also on set while filming that. And then I have the CIA coming in. So I think right now a lot of stuff is probably like trying to get figured out. I have Elon Musk coming in heavily right now and Microsoft. So we have to get a hold, I think, on all of the monies, okay, right now, and stabilizing our country back out. How would we get Donald Trump? Is Donald Trump the president right now? God and my angels. Is Donald Trump the president? I don't see him as the president right now. I see somebody else coming through as the president. I have the Fool coming in around him right now, okay? So that's the messages coming through right now with the 6 of Wands. So in terms of what's really going on, it could be that they're figuring out that he overthrew our country in some way, that everything we are witnessing is not true, okay? And that there's another situation going on. We have the 5 of Wands reversed coming out of some kind of battle, conflict, with the Hermit coming through. We have the 10 of Wands reversed. So again, all this information has to come to the light, Knight of Cups, because people don't understand what actually happened. People don't actually understand what happened to our country. 8 of Swords reversed. So hopefully we are coming out of some kind of confusion right now in terms of what actually happened. So what is the messages and guidance right now for us? God, what is the messages and guidance right now for us? it's like we're coming out of a 7 of Cups reversed, okay? And then I have tax bonds. So it's all part of Havana syndrome and the trafficking and how they sold us, okay? I think this is what actually happened to our country. And they did it through these portals, through the military portals, which are directly connected to Microsoft, okay? Directly connected to Elon and directly connected to all of Donald Trump's criminal networks. So I will leave you guys there. I would love to hear your feedback right now. This does feel like it's like an emergency kind of situation. Thanks again for subscribing. Thank you for all your donations. Thank you so much for supporting me over here. I greatly appreciate it. I am sending you so much love and blessings, and I will talk to you all soon. Bye.